On today's show, we will talk about loneliness and how it affects us. And then later, we will have Katie Moyer join us and discuss how it is to be a Christian in the public school system. This season of baseball was an interesting one. My son plays for 2 different leagues. The one league he plays for, he has been on that same team for 3 years now. But the other league has redrafted their teams every year, and because of this, we have no idea what to expect as far as the team's abilities. So this season, his team started out 0-4. Now obviously this is not what we had wanted and did not leave us with a lot of hope for the season. And in my mind, I kind of felt like, well, this is another year with a team that just is not good. In previous years, this was the way it was, so here we were again. And when you're on a team that isn't playing well, here's what happens. The team starts feeling defeated, almost like, what's the point of even trying? And in years past, we even had kids not show up any longer. You know, no one likes to lose. It's hard to be on the losing end, isn't it? It's hard to feel defeated and not sure how to fix it, or just wondering, is this ever going to change? I'm sure we can all feel that way at different points in our lives. It seems like one thing goes wrong, then another, and then another. You're just holding on for dear life. Your joy has been stolen and peace is out the window. So what do? How can you move forward? And you feel like you're the only one that is in this position. It's a hard place to be, and sometimes even harder to walk through it. But we must. We cannot give up, and we cannot give in. Satan would love that, and we have to refuse to let him have that win. So what do? We push forward, even faking it until we make it. We continue on in God's word, and we ask for help. Yes, ask for help. We do what we can each day. We take that deep breath, and eventually, we do come through it. We do, really, promise we do. So if you feel defeated today, you've lost that joy, get up, my friend, and thank God for another day. Do what you can and know things will eventually change. They did for my son's team as they pushed forward and stuck it out. They actually made it all the way to the championship series. Now they didn't take it all, but they did end in second place. A team that started out 0-4. Who would have thought? Maybe you feel like you're 0-4, but friends, it's not over. You still have breath in your lungs, and God's not finished with your story. It's time for a comeback. Psalm 18:32 says, "It is God who arms me with strength and keeps my way secure." So when you think you're running on empty, just when you think you have nothing left, remember who your God is and get ready for your comeback. And we are just 3 ladies, all with big opinions, always backed by a biblical standpoint. So let's talk about it.
When it's time for a new roof, Champion Roofing is your best choice. We're a certified award-winning roofing contractor, meaning your roof is done right the first time. Call today.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution.
This segment is brought to you by Harry's Construction, whose motto is, "If you can dream it, we can create it." They are the kitchen and bath design experts, so call Harry's Construction for all your remodeling needs.
So ladies, today's topic is all about loneliness. And when I looked up the word loneliness, it said isolation, a lack of close relationships. And then I saw something about what does the role of social media plays in this. So I want to kind of dive into both. But before I talk about it, I want to hear you guys' point of view of what is loneliness to you, and does it affect you? And
I've been home alone for days on end.
Well, because Johnny drives truck, right?
And not been lonely.
Right.
Maybe bored, but not lonely. And I've
There's a
been in a
difference.
room full of people and never felt so lonely in my entire life.
that's, yeah.
That is really good
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is a
Yeah.
really good definition.
And I also was thinking about Elijah. He came off of this
Real big high.
big miracle,
That's right.
ran off, and he says, I am the only one left. And there was that whisper in the wind thing, and God says, Elijah, why are you here?
Look around you. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Why are you here? So he was alone, but he wasn't alone. And he was alone because he chose to be alone.
Yeah.
So,
I like alone time.
So do I.
I do. I
So
don't
do
mind
I.
at all. Now, I do get energy from being with people.
Yes.
I am an extrovert. I'm not an introvert. But I am not afraid of being afraid in, not as in fearful, but I don't mind being alone. I have even practiced being alone without the TV on or without music or something. I'm okay with silence. A lot of people are not okay with silence.
I'm not a big
you're not
fan
good
of
on
silence.
Okay.
But I absolutely like my alone time. But I like the TV on or music.
But why?
Why? I don't know if I know the answer as to why I need them.
Well, because for me, Satan just works on me. He knows I'm vulnerable in my mind. So having worship music on, which there's nothing wrong with any of that. But I had to think, okay, Arlene, if you are not comfortable in silence, what if God is speaking to you in the silence? And so I became comfortable in the silence.
I'm okay with it when it's my one-on-one time with him.
Yes.
You know, like I don't have worship music playing in the background or anything like that. So that I'm okay with. But like if I'm just home,
You like something.
I like something on for whatever reason. But I'm absolutely okay with being alone. And I probably prefer it at times. And
Absolutely.
I thought too, it's kind of a crazy thought, but just in pondering over loneliness and all of the famous people that have taken their own lives because they felt so alone, yet they have had a following like no other. Like millions of people follow them and kind of worship them in a way, but it's not enough to conquer the loneliness.
right.
And that, I just was, I don't know, that was just heavy to me. Like, because it,
You saying it's not enough, I think we're looking for something to fill that. You're right.
but
You're
in
right,
all the
Teresa.
wrong places.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe that's why I'm okay with loneliness.
Right.
I don't know.
Not loneliness, being alone.
Being alone, sorry. I'm doing the next Bible study that I'm leading. It's a book called Uninvited. And it's about being lonely, how that feels, or not being invited to something, or being rejected from. And as I'm reading the book, I'm thinking, Lord, I don't struggle with this. So why is this the book I feel you're leading me to?
Interesting.
And I was speaking with my pastor, and he said, sometimes it's not about you necessarily gaining anything from it for yourself personally, but so that you understand how other people feel in the midst of it.
That's really good.
And I was like, yeah, that's good, because I do need to
Absolutely.
understand, because there are people who feel lonely. There are people who feel rejected. There are people who feel uninvited. And what does that feel like to them? And how do we work past that? And so he's like, that's what you need to take from the book when you're reading it. Why do people feel like this, and how can we break free from it? And I had brought up social media, how that just plays such a big role. And, you know, we look at what other people are writing on Facebook, and we can get jealous and think, man, look at all they are doing with other people, and going here with this person and getting invited to this person's house. And I feel so lonely and isolated by myself, and that's what Facebook can do. Have you guys seen that?
Well, I think even when we were in school, you could find out about a party that was had, or somebody went and did something and you weren't there. It was short-lived. That, oh, I wasn't invited. I'm, not in with the cool kids. That was short-lived. Now, with our kids especially, they get it with an intensity that we have no idea about. But I think adults are suffering too.
Yeah. I
Yes.
do. I think social media
When
plays
they-
a big part into the
absolutely
loneliness.
very negative.
Yes.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
negative.
Yes. I one time John was out on the road and I'm home alone, right? And all these people that I know are sitting in this restaurant and I'm like, dang, you know, like I didn't make the cut, you know. And,
Yes.
But
Yes.
you know what? And two, I always say this on this show: the older I get,
Oh, absolutely. A maturity.
I get to be okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get to be okay. I
Yes.
wasn't invited to go out to dinner, and I ate McDonald's home alone. But I get to be okay, you know.
Yeah.
We're feeling so bad for Teresa.
I get to be okay. But I think another thing too is on social media, our church services are all, you can see multiple church services on
Yes.
social media. So people, especially since COVID, are staying home.
Yep.
And listen, everybody, I'm not saying you're wrong for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I do know is there's power in numbers.
The
And
fellowship of the family.
and the presence
The
of God
fellowship of
cannot
the
be, you can feel it at home, but you, like
Mm-hmm.
I just, this past Sunday, just had such a moment. I don't know that I would have got that sitting at home watching
Mm-hmm.
it on my computer.
And that's where jealousy comes in for me because I miss Sunday service. So.
Yeah, you missed it, Kelly.
But
Do you
loneliness
see
is.
it with your older son at all?
I think he is a person that's okay being alone.
Okay.
Parker is the one that wants to be around.
He's very
people.
social.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think the oldest one is okay. I think. I mean, he could feel something that I'm not seeing, but I think he likes his time alone. So he follows more on probably my side of things where we're okay,
Okay.
doing our own thing, being alone, whatever. My husband's more the social, wants to be around people all the time, and that's more Parker, and it's just personality type thing. I think.
Okay.
You and I are like the people that we get energized, but
Yes.
then we have to have that downtime.
That downtime. Yes.
To get rid of it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So loneliness absolutely is an issue, and it's something that we have to work through and realize that, hey, we're not gonna all the time feel like we're invited to everything or, part of everything, but that's okay. Find ways to find that peace and joy in the midst of where you are, and reach out though. Don't isolate yourself.
That's right.
You know, if you're isolating yourself, that's gonna cause loneliness. So make sure you reach out to someone. Go out for a cup of coffee, do what you can to get out of that place of loneliness, because God doesn't want you there, and I know you don't want to be there. So when we come back, we will have our guest of the day.
Mouth-watering family recipes, easy-to-make meals, humor and faith fill the inspiring show Dano on the Counter. Born with only half a spine, Dano Burkhardt was never supposed to be able to hold his head up. Despite countless surgeries, a stroke, leg amputations, and kidney transplants, Dano developed a contagious love for life. Join Dano on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on Fox 8 as he shares his easy-to-make dishes and the hope that keeps him pushing forward.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It, and today we have Katie Moyer with us, and she works in the public school system, but lives a Christian lifestyle. And before we get into how that all works together, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been with the district since 2008. I worked with 1st through 6th grade for my first 2 years in 2 different schools, and then I got hired as a 1st grade teacher for the remainder of those years until just recently I became a 6th grade teacher at the junior high. So this will be my 2nd year as a 6th grade teacher.
From first
Yeah.
to
I'm
sixth.
not really sure why anyone would want to do that, but can you tell us why the change?
Absolutely. So my husband had said forever that, you should really go check it out. It seems like it's a little less stress, things like that. But I loved the 1st graders. I absolutely loved them. It was a lot. It was nursing, coaching, cheerleading, everything. I taught
Pulling
everything.
teeth. You were a dentist.
Oh, I was the
You were a
best
dentist.
tooth puller outer ever. They come to me even in 3rd grade asking for me to pull their teeth out. But 2 years ago, I was cleaning out my classroom. I was putting everything away for the summer, like I always do, and I just felt in my spirit that it was time to change. It was really weird. Not weird. It was a God thing. But I felt it in my spirit that it was time to move on to something else. And I wasn't sure where God was taking me. I was interviewing at other districts. I was looking to get completely out of teaching at that point. And then I saw a 6th grade position open up at the junior high for ELA, which is good because I don't do math.
What's ELA?
English and Language Arts.
Okay.
So it's the reading and English grammar. So I went in, I did the paperwork to get the interview, and I was like, okay, it's not that big of a deal because I'm not great with interviews, but I went in as like a parallel, so I wasn't going to lose a job. I had a position, so it was a little bit easier. When I walked into the interview, I saw a very well-known 5th grade teacher there. I was like, okay, well, there's really no way I'm going to get this. I'm a 1st grade teacher. Nobody wants a 1st grade teacher in the 6th grade position. So I went into the interview, had a ball, sang, did all kinds of crazy stuff that a 1st grade teacher would. Walked out. There was another very well-known 5th grade teacher who was trying to get into the junior high, and I said, well, okay, well, it is what it is at this point. Like,
So
I
you
did
knew
my
there
best.
was a lot of competition.
I did. Well, no. Yes, I did. But in my interview, they asked me why. Why did I want to move? And I said, well, I know I can teach 1st graders to read. I know that I can create relationships, and I'm good at what I do in the 1st grade. But I feel as these kids are coming into the 6th grade, they're coming into a pivotal point in their life where I feel that I could come behind them and encourage them to be just better all around. So I think I got it with that, because it wasn't just teaching the ELA, it's teaching the whole child. And I put that out there for them, and I told them that that's really what I wanted to do, is just encourage these kids to keep going. And at that pivotal age of 11 and 12, I knew that I could have a better
Can I say I think it was that and God knowing
That's right.
that you are the perfect person
That's
to
right.
be in that position, because that is such a pivotal age for children.
right.
Their
It is.
minds are just, going
The right teacher
everywhere.
is a game changer.
It
for them.
absolutely, at that age.
Yes.
I want to back up to say, you left innocent, naive little 1st graders for preteens.
Yeah. I know. And
She
I always
chose
said,
to.
I know. She did it on purpose.
I'm like,
I will tell you this, though, it has been the best year I have had in a really long time, because these kids are coming in with so much baggage, and they come in with baggage in 1st grade. They do. They truly do. But now it's starting to come out in behaviors.
Right.
And so if I can kind of guide these kids and just be the light for them as they're in my classroom, academics will come.
Right.
It's that relationship that you build with them, and then they know that they have you in their corner. They're going to do well. And and it's not just
so important.
academic. Like, I will tell my kids, it's not all academic. I want to see you be productive citizens. I want to see you do well in life. And
Right.
when you're 40 years old, I want you to be able to call me up and say, hey, this
Yeah.
is what's going
Oh,
on.
absolutely.
And you do remember your teachers.
That's right.
You do.
That's right.
I mean, and I just want to say, she was my little Parker's 1st grade teacher. And after COVID and everything, Having her was such a blessing. I was so happy that he got you as his teacher. It was just a God thing, really, in my mind. And I'm glad you didn't move until after.
Now you can have him again. In sixth grade.
Yeah.
That's it.
How do you navigate being a Christian in the public school system? Is there, like, how do you do it?
I'm prayed up.
Yes.
I'm in my word every day. I try to stay very grounded. Within my classroom, the kids hear the word every day, but it's not like very blatant, you know. I live my life a certain way. There are certain things I don't do, and I'm very vocal about that. There are things that I just don't do. And I had a little boy last year who actually went to his counselor and said, I think she's a Christian. And so the counselor was like, oh, yeah, she is. It's neat that they can see that.
Wow.
And here's the thing, though. I look at it as I'm just sowing seeds. I can only do so much within my classroom. I can't just come out and preach the word. I can't.
Right.
But I can sow those seeds. And my main goal as a teacher is those kids not to see me. I don't want them to necessarily remember me, but later on in life when they really come across these challenges and they get that sense of peace, I want them to be like, oh, I remember that teacher that had that. Yes. And they look back and they remember, and then they'll know that
you don't have to wear a sign that says, I am a Christian.
No.
You are Jesus with skin on, and that's what makes a difference.
Preach the gospel at all times, and when necessary, speak.
Use word. That's right.
And that's it. And that's what I try to do. So it's difficult within the teacher community as well, because it's very secular.
Yeah.
It can be very liberal, and it's just kind of go with the flow. And that is a teacher mentality. And I didn't realize that until I got a second job selling real estate, where I had that freedom, and I could sort of start thinking for myself again, because once you get into that position, it's sort of like,
you're told what to do.
Yeah, and you just do it because you have to, otherwise you're out.
Right.
So, it is challenging at times, and sometimes I feel like I'm in my own little bubble, but I'm okay with that too, because Jesus is in that bubble with me too, and it's okay.
Well, and I think we as Christians need to stop being afraid to live in the secular world.
Yeah.
I'm there.
That's where we
I'm in it.
You are in it.
Yes.
And you're not afraid to be in
Absolutely
it because you have Jesus.
Yes, and that's where my strength comes from, my peace, everything comes from him. So it's fully, I trust him completely with everything. And the students that come into my classroom every year is also, I know that they're the ones that I need to make an impact on. So.
And I want to let you know, you truly are. I mean, Parker loved you, and I know many that have come through have loved having you as their teacher. And I'm excited that you're in sixth grade, because I really do think that is a God thing.
Absolutely.
And that he's going to use you in such incredible ways, minister to these kids in ways that you may not even know right in the moment, but you're going to see it years later. And just thank you so much for doing what you do. It's a tough job. And we just pray that this next year is just another blessing for you. Thank you for joining us. And when we come back, we will have our tip of the day.
I am strong.
I am enough.
I am chosen.
I am empowered.
I am beautiful.
I am amazing.
I am creative.
I am valued.
I am unique.
Women, I am so excited for this next ladies event that is held on September 29th at Transformation Church, and it's called I Am. You see, we need to know who we are in Christ, because we can't be all he wants us to be if we don't understand that we are loved by him, that we are enough in him, and that we are strong, bold women called by Christ to be a voice in this world. So mark your calendars for this free event for all ladies of all ages and all denominations. The doors will open at 5 o'clock with food and vendors, and then worship will begin at 7 o'clock with a powerful word after from our guest speaker, Diane Swan. Now, this is a night that you absolutely do not want to miss. I believe that God has something incredible for every woman who walks through those doors, so come expecting. If you have any questions, just contact me, and let's fill those seats. Friday, September 29th, believing that God is going to move.
For generations, Dick's Home Care has been providing the best equipment and service for patient care at home. Breathe easier with oxygen from Dick's Home Care. Oxygen concentrators give you a continuous oxygen supply at home. Oxygen cylinders supply oxygen without power. And portable oxygen frees you to go. Dick's Home Care technicians will set your oxygen up and make sure you know how to use it. Call the leader in home medical equipment, Dick's Home Care.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers, and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Today's tip is to help make a trip to the beach even better. Now, most of us probably have already done our summer vacations, so you may want to write these down for later use. First of all, who hates how hard it is to get all that sand off your body? I know I do. Sand is everywhere. Well, try using baby powder. You rub it on your arms and your legs and the sand just falls off. Really, try it. And don't forget to put that sunscreen on those lips. Sure, we remember our face, our legs, and arms, but what about those lips? You see, I've gotten a few sun blisters in my day, and it's something I try very hard to not have happen anymore. I always have lip balm packed, and my favorite brand is Sun Bum. It does the job, and it doesn't cost a lot. The last thing I want to share with you is this box I brought. This is a tackle box, and a friend did this, and this is where I got the idea. You're going on a long trip, it doesn't even need to be the beach. But you open it up and you fill it with your kids' or your favorite snacks in each of the sections. And so then you have this box for each kid to open up during the trip and pick out their favorite snacks. And I just thought that was so cool when I saw my friend do it that I have begun doing it. So these boxes, when we go on our next beach trip, are going to be filled with lots and lots of goodies. So those are my tips for a beach trip. If you have any tips that would help us out, let us know. And until next time, let's talk about it.
When it's time for a new roof, Champion Roofing is your best choice. We're a certified award-winning roofing contractor, meaning your roof is done right the first time. Call today.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution.